You heard a growl. Low. Serious. You ran into the living room and there they were, your adult dog standing stiff, eyes locked on the puppy. Lips slightly raised. And the puppy, completely oblivious, trying to climb on him again. You pulled them apart, put the puppy in his crate, stood in the hallway wondering if you'd just made a massive mistake. You thought by now they'd be adjusting. It's been almost 2 weeks. You did the introduction the right way, neutral territory, leashes, slow approach. You read the guides, you watch the videos, and every day you come home hoping today is the day they'll just get along. But every day it's the same growl, the same stiffness, the same moment where your heart drops and you wonder, is this ever going to work? Here's what I'm going to tell you today, the thing that's going to change how you see everything that's happening in that living room. That growl wasn't a problem. That growl was the beginning of the solution. You've been managing this by separating them. And you should be. That part's right. But somewhere along the way, something else crept in, a habit of stepping in every time the adult dog stiffens, of redirecting before he can react, of keeping the puppy away from him so much that they never actually spend time together. And honestly, it makes sense. Your instinct is to protect the puppy. Your instinct is to not let anything bad happen. You see your adult dog's body go rigid, and every cell in your body says, intervene. But here's what that well-meaning intervention is actually doing. It's preventing a conversation that needs to happen, not between you and your dogs, between your dogs. Because what you've been watching every single time your adult dog raises that lip and the puppy finally backs up isn't conflict. It's a language being spoken, a curriculum being taught. And the more you interrupt it, the longer it takes. You've been doing what any reasonable, caring person would do. The information just wasn't complete. Here's what nobody explained to you when you brought that puppy home. Puppies are socially incompetent, not emotionally, behaviorally. A puppy has zero understanding of canine social rules. He doesn't know that jumping on a resting dog is rude. He doesn't know that walking into another dog's space without permission is an offense. He doesn't know that sticking his face directly into an adult dog's face is, in the language of dogs, the equivalent of grabbing a stranger by the collar. He's not being bad. He's being a puppy. The social wiring simply hasn't been installed yet. And your adult dog? He's the one installing it. Every growl is a correction. Every stiffened posture is a boundary being set. Every snap in the air not connecting. Just warning is a lesson delivered with precision that no human trainer could replicate. What looks like tension to you is actually structured education. What looks like rejection is actually integration in progress. The problem isn't that your dogs aren't getting along. The problem is that you've been reading the classroom as a conflict zone. There are 3 stages to how a puppy and adult dog actually build a relationship. Nobody talks about them. But once you know them, you'll see your house completely differently. Stage 1 is establishment. This is what you're living through right now. The adult dog is doing something very specific. He's building a map of the rules of this space and communicating those rules to the puppy through the only language available to him. Growling, posturing, and the occasional air snap are all part of this. What's critical to understand here is that the growl is communication, not aggression. A dog who's about to genuinely harm another dog doesn't warn. He acts. The growl is his way of saying, not yet, not this, not here. It's the first sentence in a language he's been speaking his whole life. And it's the safest version of that sentence. The worst thing you can do in this stage, and the thing most owners do instinctively, is punish the growl. When you tell your adult dog off for growling at the puppy, you're not removing the problem, you're removing the warning. You're taking the growl away and leaving only what comes after it. Stage 2 is negotiation. This typically starts somewhere between week 2 and week 4. The puppy, now having received enough corrections to start understanding the rules, begins to show something new. Deference. A lowered head. A slow approach. A pause before entering the adult dog's space. This is the puppy's brain reorganizing. He's not surrendering, he's learning the social grammar of the household. And the adult dog, receiving these signals, begins to respond differently. The corrections get less frequent, the stiffness reduces. There's more space. Stage 3 is acceptance. You'll know it happened not because they start playing, though that often comes, but because of a quieter shift. The adult dog stops tracking the puppy's every movement. He lies down and doesn't get up when the puppy crosses the room. He eats his food without needing to monitor the situation. Acceptance isn't warmth. It doesn't look like a heartwarming video. It looks like two dogs coexisting without tension. And from that foundation, from that neutral ground, genuine friendship sometimes grows. The timeline for all of this? Honest answer: 3 to 5 weeks for the basics, sometimes longer. Not 3 to 5 days. And not because something is wrong, because this is how dogs actually work. So what changes from today? The first thing is letting the conversation happen. This doesn't mean leaving them unsupervised, you should always be there. But it means changing what you intervene in. A growl that the puppy responds to by backing away? That's working. Let it work. A growl followed by the puppy retreating and returning to calm? Perfect. That's the system functioning. What you intervene in is physical escalation, the adult dog moving toward the puppy with intent, not just communication. As long as the growl is a warning and the puppy is receiving it, you're watching education, not danger. The first adjustment in your daily management: give your adult dog at least 3 moments each day that belong entirely to him. Before the puppy's presence, feed him separately, walk him separately, and spend 10 minutes with just him. Not because you love him more, because he needs to know that the arrival of this puppy did not erase his place. Adult dogs who feel their status is secure with their owner become far less reactive with a new puppy. Most of the tension you're seeing isn't about the puppy, it's about uncertainty. And you're the one who can remove that uncertainty. The second adjustment: create structured, shared time. Not free chaos, structured time. Both dogs in the same space, both settled. You present. No forced interaction. Just proximity. Start with 10 minutes. Let them exist near each other without pressure. The puppy learns the adult dog is not a threat. The adult dog learns the puppy is not a constant emergency. Do this daily, and what you'll begin to see, usually around week 3, is something small but unmistakable. The adult dog stops leaving the room when the puppy enters. He stays. He just doesn't engage yet. But he stays. That's your first win. That's the signal that the map of the relationship is starting to form. There's going to be a moment, and you will remember exactly when it happens, where you look over and your adult dog is asleep on the floor. And your puppy is 3 feet away, also asleep, and nobody is tense. No one growled to get there. No one retreated. They just settled in the same space without it being a thing. It'll feel almost anticlimactic. After all the weeks of careful management and separation and monitoring, the resolution won't come with a dramatic scene. It'll come quietly, on a Tuesday afternoon, when you weren't even watching. And you'll realize it worked, not because you forced it, because you let the process run. Remember that growl? That was the beginning. That was your adult dog starting the lesson. That was your house, for the first time, operating the way it was supposed to. You didn't make a mistake bringing the puppy home. You just needed to know what you were looking at. Now you do. Here's what I want you to do starting today, just the first adjustment. Pick one moment, tomorrow, where you let your adult dog deliver a growl correction without stepping in, as long as the puppy backs away and the situation de-escalates. Just one moment. Watch it. Don't intervene. Then come back here and tell me in the comments what happened next. I read every one. I want to know.